Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want. Welcome to Love Your Work Life, episode 140. Today, I'm flashing back to an episode I did some time ago because the information, the content is so relevant for where we are today. And that's because so much of the time, our own thoughts work against us. Things you want to change about yourself, new habits that you want to have. Life just has a way of beating the crap out of us. Let's be real here. Whether that's a toxic workplace where you're constantly confronting a person or just an overall environment that has you questioning yourself, doubting yourself on a regular basis. It could be a layoff. Layoffs, I've had 3 of them. They're rough because you feel this combination of emotions, rejection, betrayal, and that leads to wondering, well, why me? Why didn't they decide to keep me instead of let me go? What could I have done differently? So you immediately start questioning and doubting your ability to influence and even feel worthy in an environment after you get laid off. And then there's the lengthy job searches. These will wreck you if you're not careful because you're facing rejection, ghosting. The longest job search I had was just under 6 months. And I say 6 months because that was from, layoff date to hire date. Maybe it was more like 5. But here's the deal. I spent the first 4 months doing the classic thing of applying online, getting rejections, tracking my online applications. I really kind of thought of it like a badge of honor that I had applied to 500 jobs. Like that really meant something. Maybe you're doing that too. Stop it. It's not good. But here's what happened, is I finally got to a point where I leveraged that definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I stopped expecting a different result, doing the same thing, and I started doing something different. And when I started doing something different, I had 3 job offers in 47 days. And this is exactly the method that I coach my clients to do. It's the method that I teach in my course, Job Search Field Guide. It's a multifaceted way, and it gets results. And it takes you out of that insane black hole of online applications and helps you feel more in control. But you can't do that if you haven't set up your brain for the kind of thinking that you have to make change, to be innovative, to come up with new ideas. So this week's episode, I'm retitling it, Think Your Way to Change, because it could be something that you want to change personally, a goal you want to achieve, or it could just be thinking your way to changing your methods, to changing your strategies, to creating new plans that get you different results. So listen in and don't forget to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Follow me. I'm posting stuff every day there, and I'm always sharing other tips and tricks that are current and helpful with regards to careers, job search, and leadership. All right, here we go. So many times we find it difficult to find what's good about us. especially when you're in a job search. And I think this is probably why people are always wanting to get feedback after they got rejected from a job. Because you're really like saying, okay, I want to learn from my mistakes. I want to do better. The reality is, I think we're just wanting validation. We want someone to say, you were good. There was just someone that was a little bit better. As if that's going to change anything. You didn't get the job, my friend. So there's a lot better ways to find the good in you and to feel like it's good to be you without anyone else's involvement, especially not someone who rejected you for the job that you wanted. So I want to walk you through some ideas and a process for how you can do that. I posted a quote on LinkedIn recently by my favorite leadership author, Max Dupree, and the quote is, "We cannot become what we need to be by remaining what we are." It's so simple and yet so true. So how do we change who we are? Well, you may be trying a lot of things. I've tried a lot of things. Some people will think it's knowledge, right? If I just read that book, if I take that course, if I get that master's degree, those are the things that we think are going to change who we are. And it's not that that doesn't influence it. Absolutely. I can remember some great books. Max Dupree's book, Leadership is an Art, for instance. So many aha moments, so many ways that the information in that book helped me become a better leader, really set the stage, because I read it earlier in my career, and it really set the stage for how I operated and how I approached my teams and led my teams. So of course that can help. There's going to be courses in continuing education and things that will help us make shifts in our life through knowledge, through capabilities that will very likely open up opportunities for us. But, and this is the big but, you can't truly change who you are. You can't truly take advantage of all of that input and additional knowledge and information without changing your thinking. Because you could have all the education in the world and be miserable. Why is that? If that's what changes you, you should be changed, right? No. Not unless you change your thinking about yourself. And that's because everything that's created starts with a thought, including the evolution of ourselves, including all the things we envision for ourselves, that we desire for ourselves, the picture that we have in our mind of what we could be doing with our life and our career. What does success look like for you? Thinking about it in the right kind of way, in a way that serves you and empowers you, is how you get there. Because you could have all the resources in the world and still not be achieving what you want to achieve because you're stuck in stinking thinking. If your thinking stinks, then you're never going to achieve your full potential. Just won't. It's not possible. It's not the way our brain operates. So, how do you change who you are so you can become what you want to become? Investigate your own brain. The thought that came to me as I was writing out some notes on this episode was that your brain is an operating system, right? Think of it like that. And how are you operating? What is running around in the background of your brain? What are the thoughts that you are habitually thinking? Are they thoughts like, this will never work? I don't know what I'm doing. No one will ever take me seriously. Like I said, sometimes those are running around in the background. They're often unintentional. No one would actually say out loud, maybe not, that's what you're thinking about yourself. This is why I love thought downloads, stream of consciousness, especially when applied to a specific circumstance. So if you were going to go for that promotion and you're having thoughts like this, no one will ever take me seriously. Ooh, I might not have all of the experience that I need. What if they reject me? Those thoughts are not serving you. Those are not the thoughts that motivate you to go for the promotion. Those are the thoughts that are keeping you stuck. If you have those thoughts going on in your brain, in your operating system, and it's running around in the background like a little virus, it's going to keep you from operating at your best. Just like when you got a virus in your computer and next thing you know, it's clunky, it's not working, things aren't launching properly, and you're not getting what you need out of it. This is what goes on in our brains as well. So taking an investigative approach, looking at your brain, stopping and thinking about your thinking, write it out. Thoughts are just sentences in your brain. And when you write it out, you will get them out of your brain, and it is now sentences on a piece of paper, which is a story. Do you like the story that you're reading? Hey, if you don't, we can change it. You have the power to change your mind at any point in time. You have the power to change the meaning that you're attaching to any circumstance, and the way you do that is by what you are thinking about it. There's another category that I'm calling outdated operating system. Someday I'll go for that promotion. This job isn't so terrible. I mean, I'm making good money. I can handle it. I can survive. I should be grateful for a job like this. This is outdated operating system thinking. And you know this is true because of the value exchange. And by value exchange, I mean the value that you are giving to a role and the value that you receive in return for that contribution. Yeah, you might be making decent money, but if it's sucking the life out of you, if you're not getting the intangible value out of it, like it's a cause that you care about, or it's using all your gifts and abilities, that's the intangible value that you receive. So when you're in a job where that value equation is wonky, then of course you're going to be unhappy. Of course you're going to be daydreaming about something else that's possible. But when you allow this outdated operating system thinking, like, well, it's okay. I can make it. I can survive. It's not so terrible. No, don't allow that thinking to be your, I don't know what the word is, your mainframe. Is that what it means? I don't know. But I think you get where I'm headed here, right? Don't let that be your operating system because you will be stuck. Have you ever had a computer that you didn't turn on for a while, and next thing you know, it's got updates and updates and updates, and you're hours into it? This is what happens when you're not updating your operating system in your head and the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself. Things just take longer when you're inconsistent with your updates. And that leads me to, what are you becoming? How do you get to that place? How do you create the career and the life that you want? It's by managing your thoughts consistently. It's about being a watcher of your brain, very curious, very compassionate, because the reality is that lots of these negative thoughts, lots of these thoughts that don't serve you are unintentional. And it's just our brain's way of surviving. but you can rise above that. That's why I want you to be compassionate and patient with yourself as you navigate these thoughts and you uncover them and you realize, wow, I thought I had that handled, but you don't. At least not at the level you thought. You're peeling back the layers of the onion and you are adjusting and you're being intentional and you're doing this consistently. So when you are identifying the unintentional thoughts, doing that download, get all those negative thoughts out of your brain, your next step is going to be kind of like trying on outfits. Try on other thoughts. Try on thoughts, and just like when you put on a new outfit and you look in the mirror and you instantly feel something, right? You instantly feel like, hey, I could pull this off. Or maybe it's like, whoa, no way, this is not me. The thoughts you're having about yourself and your career and what's possible for you will give you feelings, and that's how you'll know whether they are thoughts that are going to work for you. Some work for me and other ones don't. It's okay. I'll share a few of them that do work for me. One of my favorite ones is things are always working out for me. And I have found this to be true for almost forever. And so I think it's been one of those operating system things, right? Just kind of going along in the background. I was probably raised that way. There was probably someone spoke those words over me, or there's a spiritual aspect to it. Things are always working out. Whatever it was, it became part of my operating system. And then when I start consciously thinking about it, when something goes a little sideways, I could just remind myself, no problem, because things are always working out for me. Maybe this is one that'll work for you. I have everything I need right now. I don't need anything else. I have all the experience I need, all the value I need. Now I'm just going to leverage it to get what I want. My success, my promotion, my job is inevitable. Love that one because it really is. You will get one day. But what we often go to is, I hope I get a job. I hope I get the promotion. How about you just decide that it's inevitable right now? Hope is always out there. Hope is always in the distance. Inevitable is like the vacation that you scheduled and you know there's a day and a time that you're going to be getting on that plane and you start living like it now. That's inevitable. So start living like you have that promotion. Start living like that job is inevitable. Remember, our brains are always looking for evidence that what we're thinking is true. That's why these kinds of thoughts like, this is going to be fun, things are always working out for me, are so powerful. Because when you think that, your brain is looking for that. It's looking for all the ways it's going to work out. It's looking for all the ways that an interview might be fun and exciting. Give yourself the thoughts that are going to help your brain look for evidence that it's true, the good kind of evidence, because our brains are wired that way. Our brain's job is to create harmony between the inner world of our thoughts and what we experience. So when you give it something better to work with from the inside, then the outside starts to match. It just works that way, my friend. It works. You have to be intentional. You have to be consistent. You have to be that troubleshooter, looking for the ways the operating system isn't serving you at its highest capacity, and then going in and doing the work to make it change. And I want to end with this. You are worthy of everything that you desire for your career. You really are. Take that one on as your first thought in changing up your operating system. You're worthy. Say it to yourself. I'm worthy. And then allow that to start to influence your thinking so that you can start to become the person you want to in your imagination, in your thoughts, and it'll happen a lot sooner than you might give yourself credit for. Go for it. I'll talk to you next time. If you like listening to this podcast, I invite you to visit my website at elissashuck-careercoach.com. On the site, you're going to find out everything you need to know about working with me on your career move, developing your leadership skills, as well as my courses, Job Search Field Guide, and The Art of Stellar Interviews. I look forward to meeting you soon. Take care.